Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends opinion. Let's share, collaborate, but most of all, let's fight.
Hello there, Raiders. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends opinion. And today we got an opinion for you about the top 5 things that are very, very small and annoying in the game. However, they're so small they shouldn't exist, and they are completely responsible for ruining your in-game experience and are keeping the game from acquiring new players. These are things that most games don't have an issue with or recognize as a problem and fix them right away, or things that you just don't see anywhere else but here started. The number one most annoying thing for me is this mystery shard opening. Right? You can only open one at a time or 10 at a time, but they're an item that we tend to collect thousands of, right? Most people have 1,000 of these stock up, 2,000, 3,000. This is very annoying. There's simply no justification for the fact that after 6 years, 7 years now of this game, there's no slider here for you to select how many mystery shards you want to open at one time. 100, 200, 300, however many you have space for, right? Why should it be a tedious and completely annoying process for me to open shards that are technically garbage? This is food. No one needs this or is gonna use them. Not even players that have been playing for a week, right? This is gonna be food and it's misleading. If you have been playing for 7 years, you don't want to see this animation, right? This long animation that you can't get rid of. This is annoying when you're opening a mystery shard. It's aggravating and it elongates the process to no end, right? It's just another way to make the entire process longer when it doesn't need to be, right? There's no surprise you're gonna get that's gonna make you happy when you open 10 of these. You want to be able to open 1,000 of these at a time. There's simply no reason why you should be opening them 10 at a time. You know, they have gone with the concept of sliders when you are buying energy, when you are buying other things. This should have been applied on year 2 of this game here. It's simply incomprehensible. You know, when you know that you have to spend time being annoyed and doing something that you dislike and don't enjoy it anyway, you're not gonna continue to play the game. You're not gonna like it. It's a grueling, terrible experience. But you know what? We're gonna move right on to number 2. And number 2 really should be number 1. I only listed as number 2 because I hate this mystery shard opening issue or the lack of open all for all of these shards. And number 2 is gonna be the inability to DM players in game. The fact that the game that needs you to cooperate with other players and to communicate with clanmates doesn't have an in-game chat feature where you can DM your clanmates, or whether you can speak directly to other players, or you don't have a friends area in the game where you can add other players to friends, makes absolutely no sense after 6 years of playing this game. It's simply unacceptable. Imagine you have clanmates here and you need to DM as an officer a clanmate and speak to them. There's no way for you to do that. There's no way for you to talk to someone privately in the game. You have to rely on third-party applications, right? Things that are not a part of the game. You have to go use Discord. You have to go use something else, because the in-game chat that they have here, clan chat and global chat, they're a disgrace. They're simply deplorable. You should not be using this. The global chat is unusable. And clan chat, I have clanmates that have never looked at it, right? We had a clan member joined randomly, someone that we invited. He's one of the biggest account in the clan. He's a great player. He's very active, constantly active, and he put some of the biggest scores in our Hydra Clash and Chimera Clash were very happy with his contribution. However, he is never Red Clan Chat, and there is simply no way to reach out to him to get him into our Discord. There's no way to DM him. There's no way to get him to know what the plan is or to work with him, because there is no way to communicate in game, right? Raid constantly relies on players having to go and do extra work, use third-party resources, go make an Excel spreadsheet to track your things on items that really should be a part of the game. It's absolutely terrible. If it's required in order to play the game, if you need to communicate with players, it should be a part of the game. You should be able to do it within game. Imagine you're having a great live arena session, right? You have a great live arena fight, you fought somebody, and there was an interesting interaction, right? You loved it. It went longer than you expected. This guy turned the fight around, or he had an interesting shot, and now you want to talk to him. There is no way for you to do that. There's no way for you to find out who this guy is or reach out to him. There's no way for you to say, hey, now let's have a friendly battle. No, let me invite you to my clan. What are your goals in a clan? There's no way for you to communicate with anyone because there is no method to do that. That is absolutely terrible and incomprehensible. Ray needs to fix that immediately. Number 3, most annoying thing in the game that's truly ruining your in-game experience. The third most annoying thing that's ruining everyone's in-game experience is Plarium's ability to make the players think that they are actually out to get you, that they're so greedy that they're out to get the player base. And one way in which this happens is by having cost in the game that shouldn't exist, that are just there to get the player to spend their resources for absolutely no reason. So how does this happen? Gear removal cost. They finally fixed it. They agree that there should be no gear removal cost. You would think they would do this across the board. This bothers players. This is a big issue. This makes players angry. Your customer base is considering not spending money because they feel that you're treating them horribly. Let's fix this. Well, why don't we fix it by removing cost of removing relics? Why aren't we removing the cost of removing relics? We have a limited number of relics because they were only recently introduced into the game less than a year ago. They are a big part of the game. They are hard to get, and the currency that you need to remove these relics is only in Chimera. It's a limited currency. You don't have it like silver. You can't farm it like silver, right? You don't have so much of it. These costs need to be removed. The cost of removing or moving items that you already own, that you have paid for, and that you have leveled up should not exist, right? These are costs that are created for the sole purpose of stealing your resources without any justification whatsoever. This makes the player base of the game think that the game makers are out to F them, right? That's how they feel. That's why you hear so much negative sentiment towards this game and so much resentment for the play game. And when a new player comes into the game and starts to experience that immediately, they jump to another game because that is not a fun experience. You want to have fun. People want to get back to having fun, enjoying, and people enjoy a positive experience much more than a negative experience of thinking I couldn't get what I wanted, right? So by Plarium having costs that shouldn't be there, it's creating a big problem for themselves. The fourth way in which players' experience is completely ruining this game, and no one's talking about it, is the in-game economy. In almost every game that you play, the in-game economy is something that is very well kept by a game maker normally, and they have their own metric for what they believe their items cost and what it costs in relative to each other, right? It's something they maintain. It's how game makers make money, by valuing those pixels that they're selling to you. And Ray is completely broken. You cannot figure out what the metric is. It doesn't seem that they have a metric, and it makes absolutely no sense. Why is it that in the market I can buy a, let's see if we can find one here, a 2-star champion? I'm even gonna refresh it so I can show you guys because I don't have any. Right? I can find a 1-star champion. It cost me 10,000 silver. Another 1-star champion. This is trash. You don't need this for any reason. No one's gonna use it, not even if you're playing for 2 days. Right? A 1-star champion, a 2-star champion is 39,000 silver. A 1-star champion could be 10,000. It could be 10,000. It could go up to 49,000 silver. Look at this. Right? Yet a mystery shard costs only 5,000 silver. What comes out of a mystery shard? A 1-star champion primarily that costs double the price, triple the price, 6,000 at a minimum, right? And you can get consistently 2-star champions which cost 50,000 silver. Why do these champions in the market cost so much? They're not valuable. They don't add any value to your account. They're not necessary to do any content whatsoever. Why is the value compared to a mystery shard so far off? It makes absolutely no sense. Why is it that in the bazaar I can go to get 50,000 silver, it costs me 200 gold coins, right? These gold bars, 200 of them. For a new player, do you know how hard it is to get 200 of this and how little 50,000 silver is? 50,000 silver is selling any nonsense gear that I get from campaign. I get this much silver from selling gear pieces from campaign, gear pieces with flat stat, gear pieces that I don't need. Yet you are gonna cost me one of the harder resources to gain and the most annoying content in the game that no one does, and it's gonna cost me this much. Why are the values this far up? It's 3,000 for 300, sorry, for 3 random brews. 3 random brews. I mean, one of these brews is gonna give me I can just use energy to get that, right? It's gonna cost 1,000 for a rare book. These are given in the game for free. This makes absolutely no sense. You have to have an economy in the game where items are valued in such a way that it does not matter how you exchange them from one item to the other. There is an understood value of what the value is, right? You're looking at the clan shop and you see an epic book, 500 of these clan coins that you get. Okay, that sort of makes sense. But when you try to value this against anything else, it makes no sense, right? Why is this so expensive when I get them consistently from the clan boss on a daily basis for free, right? The other thing that's missing on this economy is there's truly no resource shop for free-to-play players, the majority of the player base, to exchange whatever items they have an excess of for items that they need, right? You can only truly buy in the shop energy with your gem. That's what you use your energy for. You can buy energy. If you're a new player and you don't know any better, you might even buy some of these shards, right? And then you have outrageous costs for everything else. That makes absolutely no sense, right? So most people buy energies with a gem. Why is it that I can't buy a void shard with my gems? Why can't I buy a secret shard? It doesn't matter what the cost is, but you have to have an established exchange rate for gems to every type of shard. You have to be able to say, well, if you have millions of silver that you have grinded over years, then trade in silver for whatever resource you have scarce, right? That you don't have. So if you need to trade it for something else, you should be able to have a resource shop where you can exchange whatever it is that you have in excess for what you need for every item of the game. Other games have this, right? They take a resource, you can exchange it for something. And in order to do that, you have to have an understood value within the game of what something is worth. You can't just have random values. Ooh, we're gonna make a 1-star champion that comes out 100% out of a mystery shard for twice what the mystery shard costs, even though the mystery shard has a chance of giving you a much more valuable champion, right? That makes absolutely no sense. This should not cost more than 5,000 ever, because you get them from a mystery shard, and that costs 5,000 silver. It's absolutely broken. This makes everyone think that Plarium is out to get them, that they only try to trick players and get what they can. And when players feel that way, they don't spend in your game, right? This is why Plarium, despite having a great game with incredible design and good gameplay, has one of the lowest player base anywhere, right? It's a very small game compared to the gaming industry, and that direct effect on the revenue that this company makes, right? It's not a big company. It's not making huge revenue for industry standards. And that's something that you should be concerned about when you play the game, because that affects the economy that you have in the game, the experience that you have in the game, and how much money the company has to give you a great gaming experience. We want Plarium to fix these issues. We want them to fix this problem so that the game can be an enjoyable experience that we can all love. So now let's get to the last annoying thing in the game that's ruining your gaming experience on a daily. Now, the fifth thing that I can't stand whatsoever is we have the introduction of new content into the game. The new content is Chimera. It's the newest clan boss that we have had in the game, and it's all right. It's actually not that bad. It's the way to acquire the currency to upgrade your relics. It's the way to acquire relics, and it's the relic materials, and it's the way to acquire the gems that go in your relic. And the clan boss isn't bad. However, if all your clan bosses have a quick battle feature, because you have introduced a battle that takes anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes, there is no reason why you didn't put a quick battle feature in Chimera. Right? I have my Chimera's fights preset. I know who I'm gonna use, and I can't tell you how many times people have to remind me, please use your Chimera keys. You know why that is? Because I'm an adult with a family, right? I have to worry. I have a very busy day. I have very little time. I have a lot of things that I have to do within the game on a daily basis, and having to look over a fight that takes 45 minutes that is meant to be manual, it's a serious problem, right? I can't stand or even occupy my phone screen for 45 minutes straight to do a single fight and then have to do it twice. It's too long. It also make any sense. There's too many things that go wrong. You need to manually. You should at least, at the very least, have the ability to be able to do quick battles. It's okay for the first month if they wanted players to experience all of the aspects of the new clan boss and enjoy it. But after you've done this 10 times, right, after you got Empress, you hate this fight. You hate the same exact repetitive boss doing the same animation over and over and over again for 65 turns, right? They do the same exact repeated animation. You have the same set of champions trapped in there fighting, doing the same exact repeated animation over. That is not a fun experience. There is nothing enjoyable after you've done one turn. You don't want to do it over and over and over again for 45 minutes. Who wants to do that, right? You should have a quick battle feature in there. Why isn't it there? And it's a serious problem when they introduce features and they already have solutions for this in the game and they don't implement them. It's just such poor implementation. It makes you think that the people that are creating the game and are working on this aren't players in the game. They are not everyday players that love this game and enjoy what they are making, because if they did and they came in here and they went to open a 1,000 mystery shards, they would realize that this is a terrible experience, that no one enjoys that. If they were playing, right, Chimera for a year and they are seeing the same repetitive boss doing the same animation straight for 45 minutes, right? And you have things to do and you have to allocate time for that. That is not a good experience. Most of the player base for this game is adults, right? They have to be at work, they have to sleep at some point, they have very little time to allocate to this game. And not having a quick battle feature on all your bosses is a problem. While we're in the Chimera topic, I'm gonna introduce a subtopic. Why hasn't the area bonuses for Chimera, why were they not introduced as soon as the clan boss came out, right? Area bonuses, we have them for every stage of the game. We're almost a year into Chimera and there is no Chimera area bonuses in here. Why not? There was a time when I had 20,000 of this save up just waiting for Chimera to be added in here, and then my hopes went down the drain because Plarium doesn't seem to have a game plan, right? They don't seem to be doing anything that makes sense to the player base because they continue to create an experience that we simply hate. So once again, these are the 5 things that so far I see that are very small, right? They could have been fixed. Any of these things have a very easy fix that could be done at any time, right? The problem shouldn't have existed at all, but it's a big problem because it's ruining the experience that you have within the game. It's ruining the experience that new players have as soon as they join the game. And it's keeping Plarium from making money, which is something that you as a player should care about. We want a company that's profitable because that money goes into producing a great experience for you. I doubt Plarium is listening to my videos. It's a new channel. I barely have any subscribers. No one cares what I have to say, but maybe someday they will and they'll start to fix this thing. That's why I taken the time to create a channel, is to get them to fix a game that I happen to spend most of my time in because I want these issues fixed so I can start enjoying my experience within the game. If you enjoyed this video, if you think it's giving you something to think about, please share it with your clanmates. Please take some time to give it a like so others can also start to think about the experience they're having in Raid and how Plarium could fix it so we can all have a better game to deal with. Also, if you would consider subscribing, I would appreciate it quite a bit. One thing that I have learned creating videos is that one of the main ways creators are encouraged to continue to make videos and know that the ideas that they're bringing to you and putting in front of you actually are working is by seeing subscribers. When you hit that subscribe button, creators know that their content is actually doing something for someone and they should keep doing it. So please consider subscribing so that you get a notification when new videos come out from our channel and you know when we have something new uploaded. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for watching, Raiders. Now if you can please share, like and subscribe, then go fight throughout Plarium.